Well, hello everyone and welcome to another Discussions with Dolf. And tonight I'm in a very special place. It's called Bandar Djakarta. It's a seafood restaurant, and some of you won't like the idea of this. You sort of select what you're going to eat and then they prepare it for you, so we won't go into more details. But I'll have to say, as far as seafood restaurants go, this is absolutely astonishing. And it's all open air. You can't quite see it here, but originally they had open thatched huts. And the thatch, of course, is to keep the rain off, but now they've got a much more encompassing canvas system with cantilevered metal poles to hold it all up. And they have music playing here. It's quite loud, so I chose this little time slot to make this recording while the music wasn't playing, because I would have been drowned out. But anyway, you'll recall in the last Discussions with Dolf, we talked about a solution to the traffic situation that they have in Jakarta. The fact that there was Gojek, started by a guy called Nadim Makarim, very, very smart guy, very astute, very young. The company went from essentially zero to $2 billion in 2 years. He actually did have some angel capital or venture capital to start off with. He started with $2 million, but of real interest, is that his competitors had $250 million to start with, and he's still way ahead of them. So it's not just a function of how much capital can you generate, it's a function of what can you do with that capital. And never forget, often I hear people say, Dolf, I'm not in the situation I think I should be, and I should be much further ahead. Remember, there are people who are way further ahead than you are who started with a lot less. It's not the tools you were given at birth or the talents or whatever. Talent, of course, does come into it, but it's how hard you drive it. It's whether you get up in the morning with the burning desire to make something with the tools and the talents that you've got. Anyway, I just mentioned that because I was going to say, I alluded last time to the fact that even though they had a solution for what you can do on the roads, another crowd of enterprising real estate people have come up with a solution to the overcrowding problem here. And that is that, you know, back in the States and in most Western worlds, you have freestanding homes. You call them single family homes, but that to me doesn't define that they have grass all around them. It could be a freestanding home where you have a duplex or a triplex or a quad or an apartment building or something like that. You get all flavors of how people live. And in the States and in Europe, we have condos or apartments. I think condo is a uniquely American term. It means where you own the apartment that you're living in, whereas an apartment building in the States infers that it is rented out. One owner owns the whole building. But either way, these are quite substantial buildings. What has become very popular here in Jakarta with the massive influx of people that they've got here is that they have what they call cost houses, K-O-S-T, and it stands for the fact that you essentially just rent a room, and often the rooms can be relatively small. So these rooms often just have a bed in them and a lavatory and a hand basin. They might have communal showers, slightly more expensive one might have a shower or bath in your own room. But you can of course squash many of these rooms into a dorm. It's essentially like dormitory living. And they become very popular. They call them shop houses here because usually on the ground floor there is some form of commercial real estate, and then on the 3 or 4 or 5 floors above that they have accommodation. And these generate relatively high yields for the people, and I've got someone vying for control of my tripod here. It's shaking enough as it is. Anyway, they get very high yields out of this, and I'm not saying that in other places outside of Indonesia or certainly outside of specific parts of Asia one can try this, but all I'm saying is when you come here and you see the traffic, you'll shake your head in disbelief and think it's a problem that can't be solved. When you see the accommodation crisis here, you'll probably shake your head in disbelief and think it can't be solved. And yet people are solving them. And that's why what I said last time is still so relevant. What really matters is not the knowledge you can have or the information you can pack away in your brain, but it's how you can creatively come up with solutions to problems, because it's your ability to create solutions that will determine the worth that you offer this world, and the worth that you offer the world, of course, is going to be directly reflected in what the world can offer you. Remember, Zig Ziglar always said you can get whatever you want in this world as long as you help enough other people get what they want. Anyway, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this time. So as I leave you with views of this delightful restaurant where they have some of the greatest food I've had here in Jakarta, I want to wish you, as always, successful investing. Thank you.